Okay, what did I do? Oh, I bought another guitar. Sorry. This is a 1957 reissue, otherwise known as a Gibson R-7. So it's got the smaller peg head with the, whatever, 17-degree angle on it. I think that's what it is. And it's got gold finish on it. This one's from 2014. That if you look carefully, let's see. Oh yeah, you can see is prone to checking. This one is checking at a relatively young age. The guitar's not even 10 years old and it's starting to crackle. So some people might be upset about that. Other people who are like into the whole Murphy age guitar might think, oh great, if I wait another 10, 15 years, it'll be like one of those guitars that costs twice as much as one of these. Okay, so Gibson Custom Shop. Why? Why get one? Well, a number of years ago, I really decided to forego the whole custom shop thing and just get a Les Paul USA, a traditional, which was a great guitar. There was nothing wrong with it. And it was a lot less expensive. And I played it for a couple years. But then I got a chance to try a custom shop guitar and I went, oh, these are different. Yes, they are a lot more money. Yes, they are maybe a little bit harder to come by. But there were some features in it that I really appreciated. Like, unlike my USA Gibson, this is a one-piece mahogany back. That's kind of nice. Can you tell the difference when you play it? Probably not. But, it's a nicer, fancier piece of wood, so there is something to be said about that. Also, the wood that they use to make these guitars is supposedly selected more carefully. Like if you look at it, it's kind of hard to tell with the finish and stuff, but it is very, very tight grain mahogany. Very, very nice, high quality stuff. You can see the grain is very fine and close together, which means that it was not harvested super young. So it probably comes from an older tree, in storage and dried out a little bit more. So these guitars tend to be lighter, not all of them. This one's pretty light. It's like 8 pounds, 6 ounces, which is almost a pound lighter than my traditional. So that's one of the driving factors why I got this thing. The other thing is that the pickups are different. The pickups in the traditional were very good. They're burst bucker 1 and 2. These are what are called custom buckers, and they're not quite as hot. They're very open sounding, very authentic. I don't know, that probably sounds kind of vague. But when I picked up this guitar and played it through my other amp, my Deluxe, I was hearing a sound that I hadn't heard for a really, really long time. And it was amazing. I'm like, oh gosh, it sounds like one of the Les Pauls I had back in the day, like an old late 50s Les Paul. I've owned 3 of them and sold them back before they were worth a lot of money, which was maybe not the best thing to do, but it's what I did at the time, and I regret it. So if you want something that's like one of the old ones, that sounds like one of the old ones, that feels like one of the old ones with an old, fat neck contour, that's what the 57 has. It's a pretty big neck. And the lighter weight and nicer quality wood. Other things too is how it's constructed. It's constructed with this glue, it's called hide glue, which is apparently not much fun to work with. It does not suit it to big production facilities. So Gibson went away from using hide glue sometime, I don't know, maybe in the 60s, but they brought it back in 2013, I think, for their custom shop Les Pauls and some of their other upper end guitars. So this is put together with the same kind of glue that they used back when Les Pauls first started, in the early 50s and late 50s. So yeah, those are chief differences. The other thing is, if you look, the bridge studs actually go directly in the wood. There's no, you can see that thumb wheel like reflected in the finish, but that's not an extra thumb wheel. It's just a reflection of the thumb wheel in the finish. The stud that the bridge, the ABR1 bridge is screwed on, is just screwed into the wood. There's no metal receiver inside the guitar like a USA Gibson. So that's supposed to affect the sound. I couldn't tell you if it does or not, but it's comforting to see it when you're looking for something that is authentic, that is like one of the original Les Pauls, because that's the way they were made. Other things, maybe the carve of the top is a little bit different. It's a little bit more pronounced. I mean, it's hard for me to tell. I mean, most Les Pauls look pretty much the same to me, but this has like a bigger belly cut, a little bit more pronounced than production USA Les Paul. Although the production Les Pauls are getting closer and closer to the custom shops, and it's getting harder and harder to tell. So the custom shops they're trying to make them better and better and better, so that each one of the guitars is supposedly getting to be better quality. Although it's Gibson, you can find issues with any Gibson if you look close enough. It's not perfect. It's a factory. They're trying to knock them out pretty fast. Apparently, with custom shop, they're not knocking them out nearly as fast as they are with the USA Gibsons. So, okay, well, that was the bridge pickup that I opened up with. Just really snarls. It's just a great pickup. And the neck pickup, which is obviously much fuller, it also snarls, but in a kind of more subdued way. Both pickups. Touch-sensitive guitar, if you play it really softly. It just sings, but if you really bear down on it. It's real dirty, It's just the nature of these pickups. They have a really amazing dynamic range. So, yeah, that's another thing in the favor of these custom Bucker pickups from Gibson, okay, as opposed to their other ones, which are fine, but they're just a little different. So not huge differences in this guitar from USA Gibson, but there's enough stuff in it to make me happier with it than the USA Gibson I had. Of course, I paid twice as much for this, but still, you can get these R-7s used for somewhere between $3,000 and $4,000 on the used market currently, even with inflated COVID prices, which are happening. Still, everybody wants to buy stuff because they're working at home and bored on their computers and spending their stimulus money, whatever they got. I don't know. Maybe it's going to be, what do we have now? Tax returns coming soon for those of us who made enough money to get a return. So at any rate, yeah, this is R-7, my newest guitar, and I'm quite happy with it. If you don't like big necks, definitely don't buy one because it's pretty big. Not as big as the R8. R8 is kind of like the king of them all. That is like timber. It's a log. Whereas this is kind of like a log that maybe went on a little diet or something. I don't know. It's pretty reasonable, nice feeling neck, and it's a very easy guitar to play. It's got some nice, you know, kind of vintage style frets, but they're not tiny little banjo frets that are, you know, that wear out fast or anything like that. These are pretty substantial, and it's got really beautiful rosewood in the fingerboard too, which is, you know, I don't think too many USA Gibsons have them unless you go back a number of years. And if you go back a number of years, you get the nice rosewood, but then you get a guitar that's like 10 pounds. Like, you know, if you got a strong back, you know, have at it. But me, my old back, no. Something under 9 pounds, something under 8.5 pounds, it's my friend, okay? Could be yours too. So, for what it's worth, Gibson R-7.